Okay. All right. I hope you can see my screen. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Okay. All right. So thank you again. First of all, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session. I would like to say, express my thanks, sincere thanks and appreciation to the library for the invitation, and also to the audience here who made up your time to attend this session. So my name is Alvin, all right, business manager from Emerald Publishing. I'm based in Malaysia, KL. So if you look at the slides right now, at the bottom left corner, there is my email address. So if you need to ask me anything after this session, you can actually email to me if you don't have time to ask me the question right now. Okay, so without further delay, I think let's go through the objective of today's session. I think if you are a academician or postgrad student, lecturer or researcher, this is the session for you on demystifying the publishing process and also to provide you more information and encourage you to write, submit, and get it published. All right, that is the main objective of today's session. The whole session, I think it will take about 1.5 hours. All right, so if you have any questions, you can actually type it into the chat. I will have a look at it whenever I'm going through different sections of the session, and then we will go accordingly. All right. So, for those who are not familiar with Emerald, okay, I'll start off with some slides on Emerald, just some introduction. Emerald is actually a publisher, or some people would call us a specialist publisher. That is, I would say our portfolio would be more to the business and social sciences. All right. But over the years, actually, Emerald has been publishing quite a lot of journals, and we are considered one of the multidisciplinary publishers as well. We manage more than 300 plus journals. We publish more than 200 to 300 books a year. In total, we have more than 3,800 books in publication by Emerald already, and also more than 3,000 case studies in our portfolio. Okay, we are based in UK, and the city is in Bradford or Leeds. In 1967, we were founded in 1967. So as of now, our owner is actually a US-based owner called Cambridge Information Group. This is not the same as Cambridge University Press. Okay, it's a different Cambridge. So, but our headquarters is still located in UK. Right. Something that should highlight to you is in Emerald, annually there are more than 50 million downloads every year. Okay, and this is very important because when you want to publish, you would want to publish at a place with a lot of publications, with a lot of downloads, and also possible citations. Okay, that is very, very important. So who we are, actually, like I mentioned just now, this is the latest slide that I've got, I think 2 days ago. If you look at the number of journals, we are 313 published by Emerald. But if you look at the books, there's significant growth in the books, 8,800 from the previous slide, which is more than 4,000, right? So this is due to the acquisition that we have made last year, and officially 2026 we already added all these books into our portfolio. So sometimes when you search through our website, you might see a lot of new books coming in. Okay, we have one of the largest collection of business management and accounting journals. All right, and if you look at the subject area that we have quite a lot as well. In terms of quality, all right, sometimes you might say, oh, you have 300 plus journals, but which one are of good quality? These are some highlights for you. Out of 300 plus journals, 287 already have an impact factor. All right. In terms of Scopus site score, 97% of our journals already rank in Scopus. Okay. So if your institution in UPM or your faculty requires you to publish, and the minimum criteria is at least it has to be Scopus index, then our journals are one of the place that you can target to publish, okay, because 97% of our journals already indexed in Scopus, okay. 337 titles already with a site score, and also 170 titles already in Q1 of their subject collection, more than 50%. Okay. Where to find our content definitely is our Emerald Insight platform. And if you look at the website, www.emerald.com, you will find all our journals, books, and case studies there. Okay. How to access? You will need to go through the library portal to log into your UPM login, and then you click on Emerald. Then you can search for all our contents there. If you are unable to do that, you must look for the library, or you go to the library to check how to access through the library portal. Okay. We are sometimes called a leading specialist publisher. Why? Because if you look at the subject areas, right, we have 13 subject areas, and if you're looking at the screen right now, out of the 13, 9 are actually related to the management and business area. Okay. And out of the 13 at the moment, with full subscription or with full access, right, there are 5 subject areas which are currently being subscribed fully by UPM. They are accounting, finance and economics, business management strategy, marketing, information and knowledge management, and also HR learning studies. Okay, the rest of the subject areas are not in the active subscription right now. So if you're from any of the faculty that requires any of the journals to access, please refer to the library, okay, so that they will know that you need the access. Okay. We are also proud to say that all our journals in Emerald, which is a very important point here, all our journals in Emerald are actually double-blind peer review. Okay, double-blind peer review means all our journals, when the authors they submit a manuscript or an article to a journal, they would not know who are the reviewers, and the reviewers, when they review the papers, they would not know who the authors is. This is to maintain quality and to avoid any biasness lah. All right, because sometimes it's just human behavior where if I know someone, if I'm the reviewer, for example, I know this academician from UPM submits a journal to one of my journals, and if that person is my friend, definitely I'll have that biasness to mark leniently sometimes, right? This is human behavior. So to avoid that, all our journals are double-blind peer reviewed, so we not know who will be reviewing this paper and who the papers are being reviewed. Okay. Just some introduction for something new in 2026 is we acquired another new publisher along, and the publisher that is acquired is called Now Publishers, and one of their famous, or I would say trending topic is the Foundation and Trends journals. All right, it is divided into 2 subject areas, and it covers business, accounting, finance, artificial intelligence, data sciences, entrepreneurships, robotics, and also engineering. All right. So the 2 subject areas that they divided to is the business and economics in Foundation and Trends, which has 10 journals. And also something to highlight is the computer science, engineering, and technology collection, which has 18 journals. Why we're highlighting this is, or why one of the reasons why Emerald acquired this new publisher is actually because of the Foundation and Trends in Machine Learning. If you look at the middle one, the purple cover, Foundation and Trends in Machine Learning is actually ranked number 1 in Scopus and JCR. All right. So this journal is even higher than the IEEE journal, which is normally the computer science publisher, which a lot of academicians go to. But Foundation and Trends in Machine Learning is the number 1, and now it falls under the Emerald platform. Okay, all right. Also, there's another one, number 1 rank in Scopus on signal processing, which is the Financial and Trends in Signal Processing, with a site score of 41.7. Okay. For machine learning, the previous one that I mentioned, right? Do you have a rough guess of what is the site score? If you have a number in your mind, this is the SAT score for machine learning. It is 202 as of last month when I checked. So it's a very high SAT score. That's why it's number one in the Scopus and JCR for software. Okay. So publishing with Emerald, what do you think? What do you think, or what do you think will be the price to publish with Emerald? Okay, you know Emerald is a UK publisher, and we are double-blind peer review. It follows all the standards of the Publishing Committee of Ethics. Any rough idea how much is it to publish with Emerald? Okay, actually, to publish with Emerald, it is free. Okay, if you want to publish with any Emerald journals, which is the normal under the traditional subscription paywall journals, is actually free. We don't charge you any publication fee. We don't charge you any submission fee, all right? But if you want your paper to be published as an open access paper, then you cannot run away. There's a single rate APC of £3040 for each article processing fee that you want to publish as open access. Okay, but it depends on you. All right, Emerald does not charge any article processing fee for articles that you want to publish as a normal article, not the open access article. Okay, all right. So selecting your venue for your work, we actually have 3 areas for you to publish your work in Emerald. Okay, we have the journals. So which is the journals are 97% Scopus Index, 63% is in ESCI ranking, and it's free to publish. Okay, but if you want to publish in OA, we have a single charge of £3040. For books, it's also Scopus Index. If you publish your books with us, it's counted as Scopus Index as well. Free to publish as well. But if you want it to be open access, we do charge you an article processing fee depending on the length of the book. Okay. The third one, which is the case study, which is also Scopus Index as well, free to publish, but APC is not available for open access yet. Okay, there's no open access for case study yet. So these are the 3 places that you can publish your work with Emerald. And today we are going to focus more on the journal area. Okay. Out of our 313 subscription journals, do you have a rough guess what is the Scopus Q1 and Q2 numbers? All right, 167 and 103 is in Q1 and Q2, almost close to 270, which is about 80% of our journals is in Q1 and Q2. Okay, so if your criteria is even more stricter or better quality, like they only limit you to publish in only Q1 and Q2, so Emerald have most of our journals there as well. Okay. Next is more to the direction of Emerald Publishing, that we are showing our support to the UN SDG goals. So whichever article that you are planning to submit to Emerald, if you can relate those articles to any of the UN SDG goals, right, it will be very, very beneficial and make your paper more attractive for acceptance in Emerald journals, because all our articles right now, we try to map it into at least 1 or 2 goals of the UN SDG. Okay, all right. In terms of books, we have close to 9,000 books already, and most of the area of our ebooks portfolio covers the business and management economics area with close to 2,500 books. And majority of the books are in the education and social sciences ebooks area. Okay, that leaves close to about 2,000 ebooks left, which is more to engineering, which is not in the slides here today. Okay, case studies. We have 2,000 plus case studies in our portfolio already that's published by Emerald. Okay, and UPM is actually subscribing to the case studies here. So if you are a lecturer and if you are using a case study to teach in your class, you might want to look at our case studies because we do provide teaching tools or instructor's manual. Some people call it teaching notes as well for the lecturers to use the case in the class. Okay, so let the library know if you want to have access to the case study teaching notes. Okay, so without further delay, any questions? Let me have a look at the chat first. Okay, nope, nothing at the moment. If you have any question, just feel free to type it into the chat. Okay. So in the publishing journey, if you want to publish effectively, right, you have to start off the whole journey and you have to understand each of the steps in the journey. All right. The journey often starts with intention to do a research, and then you select your publication. All right. You write your research, and after you have written your research, you have to think of where to submit. That's where looking for a journal is important. All right. After finding your journal to submit, then you go through the peer reviewing process. That's where the reviewers will look through your manuscript, they'll give you some feedbacks or comments so that they'll give you some ideas to improve your manuscript and then for submission again. Okay, once it's being accepted, then you go to the publication stage where the publisher will actually do a lot of copy editing, do a lot of how do I say, text editing for you to make it standardized. And once it's ready for publication, then you will start for dissemination as well. Dissemination actually starts with the authors itself, because let's say, for example, if your paper has been published but you don't disseminate, how would people know that your paper has been published? Because there are so many publications being published every day, all right, by a lot of academicians around the world. So dissemination part is somewhere that I'll do some focus as well, so that you can learn how to disseminate your work and try to get the downloads and the citation later on. All right. We also ask our authors, if you can, try to think about the purple area, which is the impact. What impact you're trying to do when you're doing this research. If you can relate some of these impacts you're trying to achieve in your paper, you no matter you put it in your abstract, no matter you can put it in your structure of your article, or you can put it as a summary, what is the impact that you're trying to achieve, it will be very good to indicate it in the area so that the editor or the reviewer will know what is the type of real impact that you're talking about. Okay. So what is the publishing landscape in Malaysia? I've just downloaded this, how do I say, this statistics this morning only, because if you look at the source on the bottom left is exported today, and the country or territory is Malaysia only. Okay, this graph shows you the number of publications each year in Malaysia according to Dimensions AI. Okay, Dimensions AI is one of the trusted website which a lot of academicians or publishers will rely on. Okay, they feed in a lot of information there. So if we look at the publications in Malaysia, I think most of you will see that Malaysia, I think for the first time, they have hit 50,000 publications for the whole year. Okay, before that, it was more to the last 4 to 5 years. It's always been on the 40 plus thousand. But last year, I think there was a significant jump, and it jumped more than 50,000 publications in the year already. All right. But from there, where does all this publication comes from? All right. This shows the 6 major publishers that's in the landscape. All right. So if you look at the color, of course, the top one as of last year, right? I think Springer has overtook Elsevier already in the 9,000 plus publications each year. Okay. What about Emerald? I think Emerald, for the first time in the last 5 to 6 years, we have surpassed the 1,000 publication. All right, which is quite an achievement because we have never surpassed 1,000 publication in Malaysia. If you look at the dark green one at the bottom. Okay, that shows the statistics of Malaysia in Emerald. Okay, but why am I showing you, even though it looks like a disadvantage to us? It's because even though we only have 1,000 publication plus publications last year, but the number of journals that Emerald have, you remember the number? It was about 313, right? But if you look at Springer and also Elsevier's number of journals in their portfolio, in Elsevier, I think easily there were 2,500 plus of journals, and Springer, I think they are close to about 2,000 journals as well, right? 1,000 plus to 2,000 journals, if I remember correctly lah. So this shows that Emerald is still one of the preferred choice, even though we only have around 300 plus journals. Okay. But what about UPM? The number of publication in UPM actually in the last 2 years has been going up after the small dip in the 2023. All right, you are now back to more than 3,500 publications each year in UPM. Okay, this is as of 2025 lah. Okay, 2026 numbers of course is not out yet. If you look at number of publishers, Elsevier is still the top one for UPM, followed by Springer. And then I think Emerald, averagely, I think there are about 70 to 75 publications each year coming up from UPM. All right. So I hope in the next few years, after our session, there'll be more and more publications from UPM for Emerald. Okay. So why publish? Have you ever asked yourself why you want to publish? Okay. You need to know why, and also you need to develop a publishing strategy when you are publishing, because it's a very important stage for determining how or you select your journals later on. Okay. So when we ask our authors why you want to publish, some of them will say peer recognition, some will say career advancement or promotion, and some of them will also say, oh, this is due to purely subject development. They want to share knowledge. All right. Different kind of authors will have different motivations to publish. Okay. It is very important because it will affect how you select your journal. All right. Why would I say that? For example, if let's say I just want to go for career promotion or career advancement, right? How do you select the journal? You select a journal based on you must meet the minimum criteria, right? What is the minimum criteria for UPM? Let's say, for example, just an example here. Let's say they say, oh, it's only Scopus Index journal. So you can look for any Scopus Index journal and go for the journal that is ranked in Scopus, no matter it's Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, you just go for any of the journal. All right. Easier, of course, is the lower rank one lah. All right. But the harder one will always go for the Q1. Okay. That's why authors who want to get career recognition, they will always go for the highest ranked journals. Okay. That's how it will motivate you to select what kind of journal. For postgrad students, for example, if your objective is to graduate, all right, you want to look for a journal that suits your manuscript and also is the quickest way to publish. Okay, a lower rank one could be one of the journal, and even sometimes special issues could be one of the way that you can target the journal, because sometimes special issues they have a timeline to publish, and postgrads also have timeline to publish as well to graduate, right? So selecting your journal is a very, very important stage. Okay. We often call it an investment decision because you need to spend some time and effort to look for the journal, not just looking at, oh, this journal title suitable, I submit that straight away. No, right? That's not the way. It works previously, but now I think more and more journals, they are quite strict with their aims and scope. So they will only accept papers which are only contributing to the journal performance. Okay? All right. You need to know whether rankings are important to you. Like I mentioned, what is the quality or the criteria that is being set out by the faculty or university. Okay, do you need to publish open access? Is it a mandate, or is it compulsory for you to publish open access? If no, then why you want to go for open access? Okay, so it depends on your preference. So in this pre-submission checklist is very, very important, because when you want to identify or target a journal, you should do all these steps when you want to do a submission before you submit. Okay. First of all, definitely identify potential journals. It's very, very important. All right. You need to know what the journal that you're looking for. Let's say, for example, you target 5 to 6 journals, for example. Make a short list. Okay. After making the short list, you learn about the journal. How do you learn about a journal? You must read through the aims and scope. You must go through the editorial board, whether you know anyone there. You must know the copyright licensing, indexing. Read at least 1 or 2 issues of the latest publication from the journal. Why? This will help you to learn more about the journal, and also reading the latest publication will give you the idea of how a successfully published author recently structures their paper. What do they focus? What are the trending topics that they are focusing? You might get an idea or two on how to structure your manuscript later on. Okay, that's why learning about the journal is very important. That's why having subscription in the institution is very, very important, because if you don't have a subscription, you cannot read the latest issue. All right. So if you are a lecturer, a student here in UPM, make use of the library resources. Go to the library resources portal. Example, if you want to look for Emerald journals, read to the contents that is available on the latest issue. There will be a lot of latest issues for you to read. Okay. Next one, follow the author guidelines. Very, very important. You must always check what is the guidelines that you must follow. Type of paper, format, word count, submission method, referencing style, and publishing ethics that you need to follow. You must always read through this section. Okay, cannot skip. Next one, send an outline to the editor and also include a cover letter. All right. Why is this in your submission checklist as well? Let's say, for example, you've targeted 5 journals, right? You're not sure which one to go to. Why not you take another step to contact the editor team? Let's say, for example, the editor in chief or the associate editor, or sometimes you might see a regional editor. There will be an email address there. All right. Look for those email addresses and send an email to the editor. For example, you can say something like, "Oh, hi, I'm Alvin from UPM. I'm doing research on this area. My paper is titled in this topic and is going to be contributing, or will be very interesting if you accept my paper in your journal because of these main points." For example, don't send the full manuscript, but send in maybe the abstract or the research question, or highlight the contribution of your manuscript to the editor. All right. Let's say if the editor reply you, "Hi, Alvin. Yes, your paper looks suitable. Please submit to my journal." It will give you more confidence to target that journal to submit. If, let's say, the editor comes back and say, "Oh, Alvin, your paper doesn't look suitable. Why not you look for another journal?" Then straight away from your target list, right, you cut this journal out from your potential journal already. Concentrate on the others. Okay, this will give you some filtering process lah, I would say, to target a better journal, right? If you don't do this step, right, let's say, for example, okay, this journal, I read the title, okay, everything, and then I just submit straight away. You wait for 3 months or 4 months, then you come back, "Oh, sorry, it's rejected." But if you do this extra step, asking the editor about the potential feeling of this manuscript, right, it might reply you, "Oh, let's say it will take you about 5 to 10 minutes of your time to draft the email, and maybe a day or two, or maybe 1 week for the editor to reply." At least if they reply you, "Sorry," at least you only waste that 1 week, instead of submitting blindly and wait for 2 3 months. Then it comes back to you, "Oh, Alvin, we just reject your manuscript submission," right? I would say it can save you a lot of time. Okay. Why you're doing this is also an opportunity. Actually, it's also a human thing. I would like to always use the word human behavior. Every time when you speak directly to the editor, right, it will create some impression. For example, let's say you emailed to me previously and said, "Oh, I'm working in this area, targeting this focus area and research topic." Next time, if I'm an editor, if I remember, oh, I remember there's one guy named Alvin who is expert in research area. I have a paper in this area. I want to look for a reviewer. I'll look for you. Okay, this is the way to connect. You have to connect with the editors to build the connection. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example here. All right. Okay. Oops. Okay. So this is the portal of Emerald Insight. Right. If you don't know how to access, you need to go to the UPM library portal. All right, which is this one. Usually it's the easy proxy access line, right? So I just scroll down here, the A to Z Pangkalan data, or if I change to English, it will be online databases here. Click on it. Then you will see when you scroll down to E, Emerald, here, Emerald Insight, Emerald eBooks, Emerald eCases, these are all the same. You just click on Emerald. Then it will redirect you to log in through OpenAthens. All right, you need to log in through your OpenAthens access lah. Right, I don't have because I'm not from UPN. So once you log in, they should lead you to this homepage already. Okay, so from the homepage here, for example, let's say I always do search on, let's say, sustainability finance, for example, just an example. And then I focus on journals. Okay. And then as I read, let's say when I read, I find that, oh, there's a journal of financial reporting and accounting. This is where my focus is. I might open up this journal in a new page, just let it load while it load, scroll down some more, then you might see, oh, sustainable accounting, management, and policy. All right. This is another journal that you might want to look to. Right click on it again and open it. And then you will see what are the latest articles here, most read and most cited as well. Okay, this is what I meant by reading the latest article. There's only 5 here. Just read through lah. Just open it in a new tab. Okay, read. If it's useful, then you keep it. If not, then you close it. Open up again. All right, you can actually read through. All right, if it's useful, you can keep it and do a citation later on. And this might be one of the way that you target a journal. All right, if your keyword always appears in certain journals, right, then these are the journals that you can target. Okay, if let's say this journal of financial reporting and accounting, is your targeted journal, where can you get more information like I have presented here? When you learn about the journal, it's actually on the homepage here. All right, if you see about this journal, you can actually click on it. Once you click on about the journal, it will lead you to the homepage of the journal. Under the overview here, you can actually see what are the aims and scope of the journal. This is the area that you want to look for, because they will tell you what type of paper they would want. Okay, for example, this one, when I want to know more about this journal, this is a different journal. You remember just now I click on 2. This is Sustainability, Accounting and Management, a policy journal. Same thing, overview here. When you scroll down, you will see the aims and scope. What are the topics that they are looking for? All right. If your topic is not here, is not listed here, then I would tell you don't waste your time. All right. Target another journal. All right. If there's nothing here, close it, look for another journal. All right. This is one way to look for it. Alternate way, you can also look by the journals here. Click on journals here. And you can see once you search here on all journals, just click on the magnifying glass here. They'll list down all the journals for you here. All right. All topics, all subject area as well. Okay, let's say you want something on economics, for example. I just click on economics here on the left, filter here. Okay, and I look at the journals that's available. Let's say I look on the left hand side, I see Journal of Public Budgeting, Accounting and Management, for example. I just click on it and I go to the journal, about the journal. Then I can read what is the aims and scope of the journal, what topic that they're looking for. Okay, this is one way to get to know the journal, to learn about the aims and scope, whether your manuscript is suitable for that journal or not. If your manuscript is not suitable for the journal, no point you send over. No matter how good your content is or how good your manuscript is, if the topic is not related to what they are looking for, then there's no point sending in. You'll be rejected straight away. Okay? That's the second way of looking for journals. There's one more way, all right, which is to scroll down. Scroll down, you will see under the authors section here, all right. Click on authors section, and then scroll down, you will see a journal finder here. Find a journal. Click on it. Then it will list down all the journals for you here. Okay, so how I look for journals, if you have keywords, you put in some keywords lah. If you don't have, then I do a filter lah. I always use filter lah, right? I use a filter here on subject area. Let's say I want something on HR or IT, right? Let's say I want IT. And I click apply. It will list down for me all the journal that's related to IT. Let's say I find this journal Industrial Management and Data System. All right, I can actually compare a journal. All right, you see there's acceptance rate, time to first decision, right? I'll explain this later, but I wanted to show you this feature. I add this journal first, then I can compare because there are so many other journals, right? I scroll down further, then I check, oh, this one acceptance rate 13.1. I want to look at this one as well. Okay, there are two journals there. And then I scroll down. Oh, I see this Journal of Information, Communication and Ethics in Society. Also very interesting. I want to add this journal. You can add a total of 4, but let's say I have 3 now. I want to compare already. I have enough. I want to have a look at this 3. Then I click on compare. You can actually look at the 3 titles, different details like acceptance rate. This one, 11%, 13%, 17%. All right. Time to first decision, 47 days, 60 days, 75 days. Okay, this is fastest lah, but acceptance rate lower. This one acceptance rate higher, but have to wait longer. Okay. This one acceptance rate faster, impact factor also higher. All right, site score also is high. All right, but this one acceptance rate high, but the site score is lower, impact factor also lower. Okay, so you can compare some of these things. They also show you what is the word count. All right, this journal's word count, the criteria, the guideline. All right, and how many downloads it is already being downloaded already. See, there are 51 downloads. This one. All right, let's say you're interested to look at the Industrial Management and Data Systems journal. You can actually click on View Journal here. And you will see under the overview, this is the overview again. You can find the what is the aims of IMDS, what are the topics, right? All is listed here. Even the latest article is here. Okay. Next thing you should check for is always the guidelines here. Remember, after checking the aim and scope, you need to check the guidelines. Here we'll have, sorry, someone didn't mute. I have to look for, sorry, can you mute your mic? I think this is the one, yeah. How do I mute? Mute already? Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay. All right, here. Okay, sorry, yeah. So just now was under overview, now it's guidelines, okay? This is where you find all the guidelines. There's no choice, but you have to read, okay? Let's say you target this journal. You have to read what is your responsibility, what are your, what is Emerald's policy on AI usage, whether you can use AI or not, what is the manuscript key points, and what is the manuscript requirements here, preparing your submission, manuscript requirements, what's the format, what is the article title, how you should write your details, how you should write your abstract as well. Okay, if you look at Emerald, if you have not seen an Emerald article before, Emerald uses a structured abstract. Okay, how does it look like? Like for example, IMDS. Okay, articles. Okay, let's say I just choose any one of the journal here. Okay, I scroll down for you to see. Do you see the abstract? How do we write the abstract? It's like a point form. I think it will show better in PDF copy. Okay, give me a moment now. Enlarge for you to see. All right, this is the abstract of the paper. Okay, this is called a structured abstract. Layman term is like point form. Very easy. What is the purpose? What is the methodology? What is the finding? What is the implications? All right. It's very easy to read, very easy to understand. That's why a lot of people like to use Emerald articles when they look for content. Okay. For example, I choose another article. All articles follows this format. I choose another article. I open up in PDF for you to see. Okay, if you look at the abstract, see, all follow this format. Okay, very easy. And if you look at this timeline, we received the submission on the 8th of August. After August, September, October, November, after 3 months, it's revised. And then one more month, it's been revised again, few more days, accepted. Okay, all in all, I think this is about 4 months, less than 4 months. Okay, this article was accepted less than 4 months. Okay, let me go to the next one here. So this was the abstract. If you don't know how to write the abstract, don't worry, because we have a link here to show you how to write the abstract. Okay, once you open up on the link, it will show you how to write a structured abstract and what are the points to include, and tips to write an abstract as well is here. Okay, all right, you just have to read through. Okay, I'm not going to go through everything. You must go through on this yourself on the guidelines. All right, and then we also have the editorial team. Remember, I was telling you the editorial team, you must know who to contact when you want to build network. Right? For example, let's say I'm very interested in this journal, very related to my topic and the manuscript that I am doing. I want to submit to this journal. Right? You can actually contact the editor or the managing editor, all right, to check if your paper is suitable or not. All right. Even senior editors depends on who you want to check. Like for example, if you know someone from Malaysia or Singapore, right, associate editors here, I think there are 1 or 2 from Malaysia, for example, like here. Prof. Wee King Boon from UCSI, or who else? Let me see. Malaysia. I remember there are some. Utah, there's one here. Okay, and yeah, I think that's about all. So contact those people and build a network to let them know that you're interested to submit there. Okay, what else? Guidelines, send an outline. I think I've covered everything already here. Okay, so far, any questions? Let me see from the chat. Okay, I think there are some questions here. Let me go through them. Does Emerald have links for Journal Finder as Wiley or Elsevier? I think I've just shown you. Is Emerald Scopus Index? I think 97% of our journals are Scopus Index. What does APC charge mean? Okay, article processing charge. Article processing charge is like fees of publication, yes, but it's only applicable to open access articles if you want to publish it at open access. If you want to publish in Emerald, there are two ways. It's either open access or not. If you don't want open access, you don't have to pay article processing fee. Okay. I have two questions regarding publishing in Emerald. What are the stage do we decide between open access or subscription route? Is it during the new submission or after? Okay. First question is always after. We submit, when you submit, right? We don't ask you whether you want open access or not first, because we don't want to know. All right. We want to receive your manuscript and evaluate your manuscript based on the paper itself. Okay. In Emerald, we practice the good, reputable publisher. We always look at your content first. After your paper is accepted, then we will ask you, hi, dear author, do you want your paper to be open access or not? Okay, that is the practice that we do. All right, Aryanto. Yeah. And then second question, if we choose open access, APC is quite high for researchers in Indonesia. Does Emerald waive APC waivers? It depends on which country you are from. And I think Indonesia, it could be in the country for, I think, discounted APC, but you need to check, right? But if you are submitting your article through as a academician or postgrad student in Malaysia, then Malaysia is not entitled to. Okay. All right. Is there any political science journal? Yeah, there is a lot. I think there is quite a number of political science journal from Emerald because Emerald focuses on social sciences. Okay, you just need to type in your keyword. For example, I can actually show you. I can go back to the home button here. Okay, let's say political science. I just put in political science keyword, right? And I see even on journals, there are 3 journals here and politics. But sometimes I always look at the articles, all right? Because sometimes the articles I will see where does the keyword always appear in the journal, all right? For example, let's say the journal that always appear, right? For example, like Review of Economics and Political Science, it always appears here. Then I will click on this journal and I go through whether it's suitable or not, all right? Or I scroll down further, you see, sometimes, right, those political science keywords, right, it will appear in journal like Journal of Documentation, which at one read you are not sure or you don't even think about this journal, all right? But it depends what is your topic is related to. But this one is like political science related to library science. That's why they choose a library science journal. So it depends on what is your topic, okay, and your keyword, where does it appear more, okay? Sometimes Journal of Sociology and Social Policy, it might appear as well as one of your targeted area. So it depends, okay? All right, I think I've covered the questions already. Okay, let me go to the next one. So how to avoid desk rejection? I think it's quite easy if you follow the instructions lah, because there are a lot of comments that, oh, papers are rejected simply because they don't fulfill requirements. They don't even go to review process. What does it mean? It means when you submit, right, it will only reach to the content editor. It does not reach the reviewing stage. They are rejected because they don't fulfill the requirements, they don't follow the guidelines, they are not fitting into the journal requirements, it does not follow the aims and scope. That's why they reject straight away. They want to waste time reviewing. Okay, so when it does rejected, you won't get any feedback or from reviewers. Okay, which I think is quite a waste of time lah. Let's say, for example, you wasted 2 to 3 months, and then when they come back to you, oh, Alvin, your test rejected. It doesn't have any comments to improve my manuscript. Then it will be a waste of time. Okay, so try to avoid test rejection, right, by following a few of these rules of thumb lah. Like you see, identify the right journal. How? Read through the aims and scope. Once you read through the aims and scope, then you will know this is the right journal or not. Okay, read at least 1 or 2 issues of publication. You see, when you read, you will know what are the latest trends and topics of that journal that they're looking for, and how people write. You will learn a thing or two. Okay, guidelines must always follow the guidelines. Find out where to submit. Emerald uses Scholar One manuscript, all right, which I'm going to show you in a while, and send an outline to the editor to ask whether your manuscript is of important or interesting to them or not, whether it's suitable or not. Okay, where to submit? All right, I think I missed out on this button. I'm going to go back to there now. Okay, you remember just now I showed you overview, guidelines, editorial team, and then I haven't shown you index and matrix. Index and matrix is where you find whether it's Scopus in index in Scopus or not. All right, and then reviewers information, and then there are also call for papers here. Sometimes call for papers, you might find something interesting here, all right, like digital technology or AI-driven cognitive architectures, different topics every time, I would say. So it ends in 2016, July, May, and April. So depending on which one that you want to target to. All right. And I think I missed out on the purple one. All right. You can actually click on submit your paper here. Then it will lead you to the Scholar One manuscript. All right. Scholar One manuscript website here. And you need to follow the instructions, log in. All right. And then you need to have a ORCID ID. You must have an ORCID ID. Okay, for you to log in. All right. Okay, so far? Okay. Okay, next one. You should always polish your work. Okay, before submission, you must always proofread. Look for incorrect grammar or spelling and all those maths and stats content, whether it's accurate or not. References, sometimes we find a lot of incomplete and inaccurate references. Okay, when you're doing a citation, please don't simply cite. All right, cite recent references, and also cite only contents that's relevant. All right, don't oversight. Okay, make sure your manuscript is consistent and don't rely on spelling checker. Okay, if you want to have an economical way of checking or proofreading, try to show the draft to someone else who has never read it before. All right, usually these people who have never read your paper before, they will find mistakes, common small mistakes for you. Okay, all right, so remember to polish your work before you submit. Publication process, I think it's quite straightforward. We need to let you know what is the publication process, because some of you might think, oh, why is it taking so long? Why is it taking 3 months? Why have they never replied me? Why the stage is still in this status, no changes after 2 or 3 weeks? It's because of the process. Okay, if you look at that ideal scenario, right, desk reviewers are given 2 weeks to desk reject your paper. If everything is normal, they will pass to the editor to assign a reviewer. That will take about 2 to 4 weeks also, because they need to look for a reviewer. Reviewers' turnaround time, they are given 4 to 8 weeks to review your paper. And then after that, editors are given 2 weeks to do a decision whether to accept, reject, or revise. Okay, if you look at the timeline like that, right, easily it will take you 3 to 4 months already. Include revision 4 to 12 weeks, right, it will take about 6 to 8 months from submission to acceptance. All right, that is the normal process. Okay, but in the scenario that I've shown you earlier, there's also journals that is done from submission to acceptance in 4 months time. So it depends on the journal sometimes, but the rule of thumb is the higher the ranking, the longer turnaround time it is, because a lot of people would like to submit there. Just imagine if I'm a academician, I want my name to be recognized, and I know this is a number ranked journal in the industry. I will definitely want to publish there so that people can look for my article there, and then my name will be my citation, and then my name will be more famous lah, right? That's why I always say the rule of thumb, if you want to have a lesser waiting time, try a ranked journal which is a lower rank one, not the highest rank. Okay? But it depends on the suitability. Make sure the criteria is always fits it aims and scope. If your lower rank journal, but your aims and scope does not fit, also no use. All right. Most important thing is, like I mentioned just now, how to avoid test rejection. Get the right journal. Okay, that is very, very important. That should be your number one criteria. Then only you look for the journal ranking. Okay, all right. So peer review process, you also need to take note that what will happen after you submit. Okay, I'm going to focus on the orange color here on revise. Okay, after your submission, everything will be good. If let's say everything is accepted, you'll go through the normal publication process. If it's rejected, which is on the purple section, I think it's very straightforward. We will share a copy of the reviewer's comment with the author so that he can improve on his paper. But revision is somewhere that I want to follow here. If you get a decision to revise, right, it's a very, very good news. Please take note that it's a very good news, because imagine if you are an editor, if you don't want to accept your paper, or I don't like your paper, if your paper is not contributing, would I want to ask you to revise your paper? No, right? I will reject your paper straight away. But if I ask you to revise, then you're halfway there already. That means we want you to improve on your paper based on our comments, and then you do a revision to resubmit. Then after resubmission, if everything is okay, then most likely it will be accepted already. Okay, so when you get a decision to revise, it's a very, very good news. Okay, yeah. So when you get the decision to revise, acknowledge the editor and set the deadline if there's no deadline given. All right. If you disagree, you can explain why to the editor, clarify any understanding if it's in doubt with the editor, and always consult with your colleagues or co-authors if you have a co-author, because sometimes in a paper you might be working with a co-author and the area for revision might not be the area that you're working on. So you must work together with your co-authors, tell them, oh, this is the revision, this is the timeline given, please fix and revise and resubmit by when to me so that I can resubmit again. For example, you must always talk with your co-authors, all right? And always meet the revision deadline. Okay, yep. So if your paper is rejected, what are the possible rejections? You also must know so that you don't fall into this category. So the possible rejections that is always given by our editors are not following instructions or the guidelines. Okay, inappropriate to the journal scope. They did not read the in and scope. They just apply or submit blindly without reading the journal's in and scope. Problem with quality, that means the paper motivation is weak, or they feel that the contribution to the field is insufficient. That means when they accept also, they don't feel any contribution of your manuscript. Okay, that's nothing new. So remember, if you're rejected, don't give up. I think every one of us will get rejected in one way or another. Okay, there's no author that's always perfect, never get rejection one. All right, so getting rejected, learn from it. If it's reviewers comment and rejected, then you read on the comments positively how to improve on it, and then resubmit when you're ready. Okay. So what makes a paper good? Editors and reviewers are always looking for these things lah. Originality, I think, is very straightforward lah. Originality. If it's relevance, how is it connected to the extension of any existing knowledge? Is the research methodology that you're using valid or not? Does it communicate well? Quality of writing and structure is very important. That's why I asked you to read at least one or two issues of the latest publication. If you want to target Emerald journals, really, you have to go to the journal and read the latest publication. Okay, if you don't have access, inform the library that you are targeting to submit here to publish. You need to have access. Then the library will do something to help you. Okay. References, make sure it's recent and relevant, and make sure it's also global focused. Don't just focus on a small area. Like, for example, if I do this research, I focus on Kuala Lumpur only. No lah. Try to do some focus on a bigger area. You would want someone to read from all over the world, not just people from KL, for example. This is an example sahaja lah. All right. Always follow the scope and objective of the journal. That will make your paper good. Editors and reviewers are always looking for a good title, catchy title, keywords, and also a well-written abstract, because well-written abstract is the window for you to get people to download your article. If your title is not good, if your abstract is not good, is not written properly, right, I won't feel like going into your article to read already. Okay, so abstract and title is very important. Okay. I'm going to skip some of these things. Books, I'm going to skip as well. Let me see. Publication ethics. Yeah. I'm just going to go through briefly on publication ethics because recently there is a lot of issues on ethics and integrity. A lot of papers are retracted. A lot of articles are being removed. This is due to a lot of ethics and integrity issue. All right. But the rule of thumb, for example, in Emerald is why we are strict is because we would not want this kind of news in a website or publisher's content, where some of these institutions or publishing house, there are actually papers being retracted. All right. So we wouldn't want to be in all this kind of news. That's why we are very strict on the research integrity. And you as an author, you will not want your, how do I say, your name or institution's name into this kind of news, because it will really impact your reputation. Okay. I think we have to admit, even Emerald, we do have cases where there are articles being retracted or removed because of integrity issue. Okay, we are not even spared from this one, because we do have a team that investigates all these papers, whether they are genuinely following the ethics and integrity of the publication or not. If we find something fishy, then we just highlight and they will do a check on the paper. If found guilty, they will retract and put it here in the website, for example. Okay. Next one is the dissemination. Remember the stage dissemination in the earlier slide. I always ask my authors or provide you tips on promoting your work, because I think getting published is not very hard and it's not very easy as well. But getting your work promoted and getting downloads and citation, that is even a harder step. Okay, so what are the steps that you can do to promote your work? I think spread the work within your network. If you have any network, WhatsApp group, research networking group, you can always spread the word that, oh, this paper has been accepted in this journal, A rank journal or quartile one rank journal. All right. Email signature, use email signature, include your link in your work. This will help people to click on the link if they want to read your latest article. All right. Institutions, depending, there are some institutions who do newsletters, or they also promote through social media channels like Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, LinkedIn. These are some of the ways to promote your work, okay, to get more readership and get more citation. Okay. But how to make your paper more discoverable? All right. You need to focus on these few areas. Focus on the keywords. Okay. Why? Because in titles, in your title, if you can include some keywords, it will be very good. Even on abstract, if you can include some keywords in the abstract, it will be very good as well. For example, let me just show you an example. All right. I'll just go back to my homepage just now. Okay. And then I put in a keyword like, for example, training methods, right? I just put in the keywords training methods. And then if you see, where does the training methods word will appear? Title, abstract, right? Title, abstract, right? So title and abstract is where it will always appear. So making sure the keyword have the title or abstract have this keyword is very, very important. Okay. This will make your paper more discoverable online. And your references, make sure it's complete and correct. Okay. So why publish with Emerald? Talking for so long already. So I think Emerald, one of the things that we always do is we have an office here in Malaysia, and we always support our authors in their aspirations. For example, if there's any book launches or any events that we would like Emerald to participate on, they want us to hand out the highly cited paper, outstanding reviewer awards to any of the institutions, right? We will always be there. All right. We will try to support our authors because we know getting published is not easy, and getting an award for your published work is even harder. All right. So we are always there to support the authors. Okay. We have different kind of awards. You can read through them in our website if you want to know more about the awards. And we also have further information and resources online. All right. For example, just now when I show you the web page, I go back to the home page here. All right. I always use this as a reference. On the home page, if you scroll down, same area, the authors area. Click on the authors area. And then you scroll down a bit. Just now I was showing you a journal finder here, right? Find a journal. But there's also publish with us here. Click on it. There's a lot of information here. Author how-to guides are here as well. Let's say I want to publish a journal. Okay. What are the publishing process information? What is the early site accepted articles? What is the related topics? It's all here. Okay. Even on author how-to guides is here as well. Okay. How to use a Harvard referencing system, how to write a book review. There are a lot of how-tos here. So just come here and have a look for free article and resources. All right. We also share our information via our Facebook page. This is a Facebook page dedicated to our region, Emerald East and Southeast Asia. There's another Facebook page, Emerald Publishing, which is more to the content or postings by the UK office. We find that it's not related to us. So we ask the permission to create a East Asia group, and we post all our information here on the East Asia Facebook page. Okay. Example, call for papers. All right. Different special issues. We always post it here almost daily. All right. And sometimes we are looking for editor-in-chief in our region. We also post it here as well. And sometimes free webinars, we also post it there as well. Okay, so if you can actually open up your Facebook if you have Facebook and follow our Emerald East and Southeast Asia for more information. All right, so I think that's the last of my slides. Any questions before I end? Let me see. All right, let me go back. Any political science journal? I think just now I ended here. All right. What makes the author choose for open access when they can publish free in a traditional way? Okay. Sometimes authors publish open access is because there is a belief that choosing open access will provide you with more information or more discoverability. More people can read. Okay. But my own perspective of argument is if you think your paper is good, no matter it's open access or not, people will look for a way to download your article. Yeah, that's my view on that. And also sometimes authors choose open access because they receive grants from MOE or university, they have research grant, they have the money to use it for open access. Then they go for open access. All right. But you ask me, majority of the authors out there, they are just publishing to meet their objectives and KPI, and also to share knowledge. They don't have the funds to go for open access, but they publish in a traditional paywall. They can still disseminate information if they choose reputable publishers like Emerald, for example, where there are more than, for example, just give you an instance, right? A lot of institutions around the world are actually subscribing to Emerald. So most of them will have free access to the article. Okay. That's my take on the open access, why authors chooses. Okay, next one. After submission of manuscript to a journal, is it proper to send a message to the editor? Yeah, I think after submission, right, or even I would say before submission, try to create a network with the editor first. Maybe you can ask him, okay, I'm working on this research topic. I'm in my intention is to submit to your journal. This is my abstract. What do you think? Do you think there are areas of improvement, or is there any research gaps I must fill in, or is there any areas that I must, topics that I must include to be more attractive? Ask these questions. I'm sure the editor will be very happy to engage with you. Okay, then you know how you can improve your manuscript before you submit. Okay. May I know what is the difference between OA and others? Does it mean shorter publishing time? No. I would say this is the main also perspective of authors where they find that, oh, open access is a shorter publishing time because I pay for it. Like I mentioned just now, there was one question. When do we ask whether you want open access? You remember? It's at the end, whether it's accepted first. All right. Reputable publishers will ask you, okay, your paper is now accepted already. Do you want it to be open access or not? We are not asking you, oh, when you submit, you want open access or not? They only evaluate. No, because we feel that if we ask you this question first and you say open access, then they will feel that, oh, you are paying for it. I have to make sure I focus on your one first. No. Yeah. So general rule of thumb in Emerald, especially, is we don't have a shorter publishing time for open access. Okay. Next one. Even though I followed the instructions properly and the scope of journal, I got rejected from the test twice. Oh, that means there's something wrong with your. If this happens, right, that means it's not the correct journal for you, lor. You just have to switch to another journal. Okay, maybe what they're looking for is not in your manuscript. Okay. Do you know if non-open access articles can be cited? Of course, I have a lot of authors in Malaysia. They are only publishing non-open access articles. and they are one of the top recited articles or researchers in Malaysia. All right. For example, if you know, there are a few names lah. Prof. Ramaya, Dr. Hiram Ting, Prof. Uy from UCSI. These are all well-known researchers in their own field, which are only publishing in non-open access articles. Okay. Does Emerald publish journals of medical and health sciences? I would say medical, not a lot, but if you're talking about health sciences or healthcare and management, we have a lot. Okay, but in UM, right, University of Malaya, Faculty of Medicine, there are a lot of authors for Emerald as well, because they are also looking for journals in the perspective of management of medicine. All right, and they look for Emerald journals. Okay. Does call for papers easier to be accepted? No lah. I wouldn't say call for papers is easier to be accepted. Call for papers is a area for postgrad students, especially if they want to know what is the timeline of the publication, because they have a window to publish. All right. Call for papers is also an area where they don't mention specifically in their website. Okay. Usually call for papers are like, for example, just now I show you. I just open up one of it. This is a call for papers. Usually they will tell you a different aims and scope here. What are the list of topics? Usually it's not described in the main page. So sometimes you might find trending topics, which is what you have. All right. And they have the submission information here, guidelines here, and the key dates. Okay. Open 15 December, close 31st of July. That means you know for sure. After 31st of July, you know whether you accepted or not already. All right. This is how you play around. Like, for example, let's say, where is it just now? All for papers. This one, you see, closes 15th of April. That means, after 15th of April, you know whether you got accepted or not. All right. Okay. This is something that is you can manipulate. All right. Okay. Back to the questions. One more question. If we choose non-open access, may we upload my article elsewhere? Yes. I've heard about green open access. Yes. All right. Okay. Green open access. Yes, it can. You can. For example, For example, I can show you under our published with us here, journals. Then open access. Where is it? Just give me one moment. I just need to look for the word. Here. Okay. I show you the image. It will be more easy to explain. Routes to open access. Okay. Yeah. Green open access here. Okay. Yeah. So you can actually upload your author's approved version, all right, or your author's accepted manuscript, okay, to any repository that is, how do I say it? How do I explain here? Oh, scholarly collaboration networks, right, that is signed up with STM. But if you're talking about ResearchGate and academia.edu, you cannot allow sharing there. Okay. If you have institutional repository, yes, you can. If there's any non-profit repository, yes. If you have any personal or company website, yes, you can upload them there. But you can only deposit, you can only deposit your author's accepted manuscript that is without the logo one. All right? Anytime once it's accepted. Okay? All right? There's more information here. You can read about it here. Maybe I just copy and paste it into the chat. then you will have information there. Any mathematics and stats journal? I would say no mathematics and stats title journal, but there's a lot of articles related to maths and stats in our article that is being published. All right. For example, why I'm saying that is if you're talking about maths, mathematics, any journal title related to mathematics, I would say very less, you see? All right. But if you're talking about statistical title, also very less, right? But if you put in a keyword, depending on what is your keyword, sometimes you'll find articles there as well. Yep, open access will give author more visibility. Yes, I agree on that. But the down part is you need to pay, right? Yeah. I cannot type in Malaysian postgrad. Oh, it's under library. What waivers or discounts are available for UPM postgrad students? At the moment, UPM, no, you're not entitled for it because Malaysia is not in the country of the list of waivers, you see. Only these countries are given full waivers. Usually these are those African countries, right? And 50% for low middle income countries. So far, I see from Asia, it's Philippines. I don't know whether I see Indonesia or not. I don't think so. Yeah, Indonesia is not already. It's not in the list. Okay, maybe you find some of your countries here. All right. It's in the same link just now I shared this, the green open access link. Okay, you can find out more from there. Can we use AI? Okay. It depends. All right. When you are looking at AI, I think this is a very good question because let me go back to this part on guidelines. Okay. If you read the guidelines properly on Emerald's policy on AI usage, the rule of thumb is you can use it to improve the structure and clarity of language, right? But if you use it to generate new material, is prohibited, not permitted. Or you want to use it to replace any human involvement, it is also prohibited. Okay. The full AI policy is on here. Just have to read. Okay. All right. I think I've covered everything already. One last thing before we end. This is a certificate. You can actually take out your smartphone and scan. You just have to key in your name and your email address together with a few more details. Then you should get your certificate of attendance from Emerald virtually. All right. This link will only work until end of the day. So if you are scanning it right now, I hope you can take out your handphone and scan it, or not take a picture of it, and then you can actually do it after the session. Okay, take out your phone and scan it. I'll leave it on for like 30 seconds. Okay. Okay. Yep. I think that's my last slide already. So I hope you've been fruitful for you and it helps your route of publication, especially to Emerald Publishing. I think Emerald generally is a good place for you to publish if you're from the Faculty of Business, Management, Social Sciences, even engineering included if you're in the medical area. I think health and social care is one of our strength areas as well. So don't be tied into the subject area, but I would say look for the journal that is suitable. All right. Sometimes you might not know. You might find a journal that is suitable in Emerald, even though you are from the faculty of engineering, faculty of medical, or faculty of built environment. Sometimes you might find all these journals that's related to Emerald here. Okay. My email address is here. So if you want to ask anything, you can email to me after today. All right. So I think I pass the floor back to the library. Yep. Isa, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Irvin, for the very interesting and informative presentations. Before we wrap up today's webinar, let us create a lasting memory by taking a virtual group photo. We kindly request that everyone turn on your cameras if possible and share your brightest smile. We will take a few moments to ensure that everyone is ready. Apa nanti?
Okay.
Okay, let's take a picture. In 1, 2, 3, smile.
Okay.
Another one.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, smile. Okay. Lastly, we will appreciate your cooperation in completing the registration and evaluation form available in the chat box. The digital certificate of participation will be distributed to the email address provided in the form. Lastly, thank you all for joining today's webinar. I hope you found the discussion as interesting as I did. A big thank you also to our speaker, Mr. Irvin, for sharing valuable knowledge with us today. Your knowledge has truly enhanced our understanding about how to publish effectively with Emerald. We also appreciate the engagement from our participants. Your questions and active involvement made this session more dynamic and interactive. Once again, thank you all for your time and participation. Wishing you success as you put this new knowledge into action. Stay safe and take care.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Waalaikumsalam.
thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Hanim. Thank you, Alvin.
All right. Bye-bye. I hope I can see you all in UPM next time. Let's
Yeah,
organize.
for sure. For
Let's
sure.
organize a physical session. Yeah.
All right,
Thank you
we'll
so
be
much.
around.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.